We're back now for part 3. We're a little delayed, but that's okay. So basically, to continue talking from part 2, like Josh was saying, he wanted to talk about the good old baseball marketing, and all we could talk about Stephen A. Smith's comments, his insensitive comments about Shohei Ohtani, because he's an idiot. But what else is new?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So basically, like Josh was saying, there's a very good marketing system right now for players. It's just a matter of if baseball wants to do it. Like Vlad Jr., awesome stud player. You can market him so easily. Shohei Ohtani gets a lot of respect, of course, but he's not getting enough as to what he's doing right now as, a two-way player. Can I stop getting turnovers? That'd be fantastic. So basically, I want to start off quick with the whole marketing thing, because this will spark the debate. So obviously, we saw Stephen A. Smith's stupid comments from a couple days ago, where he said that Shohei Ohtani basically can't be the face of baseball or the number one marketed guy because he doesn't speak English, which is not true. Because for one, there's videos in a whole acceptance speech of him speaking English, so that's just plain wrong.
He just can't speak fluent English.
Exactly.
That's how little he knows.
And for what it's worth, if you're going to be a guy, Stephen A. Smith, who talks more about baseball and football, and there's more ethnicities in baseball and basketball that are the head of the league, or one of the easiest marketed players in those respective leagues, that are not even dominant English players. So I don't understand how you could say that about baseball. He should just straight up admit that he doesn't care or watch baseball, because that's basically what he's saying.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, yeah. That's what.
I just thought it was very.
He knows nothing about it.
And we're not a political channel. We're not doing that. But for what it's worth, I'm straight up going to say it. I think Stephen A. Smith is a very race-baity person. Like, I feel like he intentionally,
We'll just leave it at that, yeah.
That's everybody at ESPN, though.
That's true, yeah. That's just ESPN.
They feed off of that.
I just think there's something there that the people over there in ESPN and all these, honestly, talk shows and stuff, they don't get paid anymore to be sports analysts. They get paid to be intentionally spark debates. And the way they do it is just not correct anymore.
You can find better analysts on YouTube and Reddit, honestly.
I just find it really, really, really disturbing that was said.
They all just want to be personalities, too.
Yeah. Like, I just find it really disturbing that was said about Ohtani. And it's not like, I'm not even an Angels fan, and I love Ohtani. Ohtani is one of the most easiest person to like in the sport, because he's an accepting person. Like, he's always smiling. He's not he's not dirty. He's a person for young kids to look up for.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a good pitcher. He's a very good hitter. I don't understand why you wouldn't want to market him as a baseball player. You have Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani on the same team, and your first thing, Stephen A. Smith, comes out of his mouth and goes, yeah, you can't market Shohei Ohtani just to speak English. I don't think you can do it. Like, that just shows how much that these analysts don't pay attention to any of these sports. If it's not basketball or football, they don't care.
No, honestly, even then, I feel like they still don't even pay attention that much.
Yeah, they intentionally say it.
Yeah, they just say stupid things to get views.
Yeah, I just really wanted to get that out there, and I really hope people
and they want to go with
whatever
their boss's mainstream views are too.
Well, yeah, because ESPN's losing viewers, so they'll say or do anything
they're owned by
to
Disney
get their viewership
too,
back for 10 minutes. They're desperate people.
Like, remember when ESPN was good? They had Stuart Scott. Stuart Scott was one of the He was so likable, and unfortunately lost his battle to cancer, which is just awful, because it's just one of those guys.
Yeah.
He's just one of those guys. You just loved him. He was easy to, he was the guy you actually wanted to watch ESPN because of the fact that he was hosting the show.
He was so blunt with athletes too. He'd ask them real questions.
There was real questions involved.
The respect to be able to do that. Like Stephen A. I think most players look at him as a clown, anyways. Him and Skip. And a lot of those guys, Max Kellerman too, obviously.
Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, Shannon Sharp. Oh my gosh, don't even get me started. Shannon Sharp.
if you're a former player, and I think this is what I'll say though. If you're a former player and you're part of these system shows and whatever, I think your opinion is either hated on or loved more, just because I feel like it's gotta be respected because they've played the sport. But for someone like Stephen A. Smith, who never ever played a professional sport and was probably crap at it, for what
He
it's
did play
worth.
college ball though.
He
No,
did, but he
played
wasn't
college
good.
basketball. No, I think he played D3, right?
Yeah, he wasn't anything special.
Not
But it's
that. I
like,
mean, I don't want to take anything away from him, but yeah.
no, yeah, but it's more like Kendrick Perkins. He's not a great person either. I don't like listening to him, but at least he played
No.
basketball. He won a championship. He understands half of this stuff. And his comments are
Right.
more good than bad with how he plays because his analysis of basketball is based on him actually playing and being around some of these players.
Right.
So it's
Yeah,
more
he's
respectable.
Like, he's like freshly retired too, so
Yeah.
like, he's got like.
It's just more respectable. Like when you mentioned Shannon Sharp, I don't like watching him either because he's part of the same thing. But when he talks football, though, it's yeah. But when he talks football, though, it's kind of respected because he's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the better tight ends ever.
What he's talking about.
Exactly. Like he understands the little things of the game that we're not seeing as a fan, but he gets to put that out there because he played it. And I think that's what. If analyst needs to be saved, you need to get more former players that like retired players on there. Like you went out of your way to get Paul Pierce out of there when he did really nothing wrong. So now that Paul Pierce isn't there, people trash on him, but he was at least a former player. He's in a Hall of Famer.
No, I loved Paul Pierce too. I thought he was funny. He said some dumb shit, but
yeah, he wasn't he wasn't a bright bulb. None of these guys are bright bulbs,
No.
or woman.
I really can't
part of the
believe
industry.
he said on TV, I'm better. He really said I'm better than Dwayne Wade on TV.
I don't think that's that far off.
It's
though.
not.
I mean,
yeah,
I'm
it's not.
biased as a Celtics fan, but like he was really good.
No, for what it's worth, if you're a Hall of Famer, you're technically not far off from anyone. If you're both Hall of Famers, statistically you are not far off from anyone, for what it's worth. But that's a different topic for another day. My thing is, like I said, the marketing needs to be better, but like Josh, you're saying, baseball has a bunch of just young studs right now that is so easy to like, and I think baseball, the ratings were out. People watched. There was more than 3 million, 4 million difference of fans that watched the All-Star Game and Home Run Derby compared to the NBA All-Star Game, which proves Stephen A. Smith wrong because he's like, oh, you can't market this guy. Dude, people watched Home Run Derby because Shohei Ohtani was in it. People watched the All-Star Game because Shohei Ohtani was in it. I'm sure there's obviously other reasons too, but there was a big reason why people watch that stuff because they got to watch Shohei Ohtani play.
Yeah, dominate
his respective peers as a pitcher and a hitter, because you never see that. Babe Ruth did that for people who don't really know baseball. You should know who Babe Ruth is. Babe Ruth is a great pitcher, great hitter. That's what Ohtani's doing in current day modern baseball, which is way better than in 1920s and 1910s.
Oh, yeah.
So, for that to say, and it's also easy to market basketball. It's easy to market football, because it's just brand deals. It's Nike, own shoes, custom lines and stuff like that.
I feel like basketball's the easiest sport to market to because everyone can play it. You can just go to your local court and play a pickup game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easily accessible from around the world.
I'm not playing hot this game. Yeah, exactly. That's what my point is. It's the most accessible. You just need a ball. Literally, you can go shoot around by yourself. You can't throw a football by yourself. I mean, you could, but no one's gonna pass back to you. Oh, jeez.
I just wonder how it got to that
We're
point.
getting dominated. God damn.
Nobody ever said we're professionals at this game. We're basically providing you free entertainment in the background while you listen to our takes and how we talk about sports. That's basically what we're here for. But I do enjoy, if we're going to get out of baseball. Well, actually, no. Let me rephrase myself. I'm going to go into a different topic than what I just thought of in my head. We wanted to talk more about, as well, the recent events that actually happened in baseball. The Nationals.
Two recent Nationals and the All-Star Game with the almost terrorist events.
Yeah, so obviously at the Nationals game the other night, there was a shooting that you could hear on live TV, which is really crazy.
They said it was outside of the stadium, though, right?
Yeah, it was outside the stadium, luckily, which is even still saying luckily is not even the correct word I should be using that statement, but people understand what I'm saying.
Right, yeah.
Thank God it didn't get into the stadium. Thank God none of the families and stuff were hurt that were inside and everything.
Well, the problem with DC is, too, it's just, it has such a bad crime rate. It's not a safe place to be.
Yeah, which is how everything's going today.
Yeah.
But just wanted to bring up those events so it doesn't look like we're just not noticing them. It was a very scary time, but just wanted to bring those up quickly and to say, you know, we're happy that nothing bad happened.
And almost the All-Star game shooting.
Yeah, when the maid basically saved lives of that hotel. If anybody didn't see that story, the maid found what was like a plethora of guns and stuff, right, in like a hotel room.
But the reason for those guns is because they're apparently doing a drug deal.
Yeah.
They were trying to do a terrorist event.
But it's still very scary.
No, that makes more sense.
Because obviously the first thing you're thinking of right there in that scenario is when the Las Vegas shooting happened. So you don't want anything, you know, to happen at the All-Star game or anywhere in general. That just shouldn't happen.
Speaking of drugs and stuff, I think in Mexico, like a cartel leader just got busted out of prison.
That also doesn't surprise me.
Heist. No.
But
that's funny.
There was your little 2 minutes of random non-sports talk. Well, kind of sports talk, but not really. But what else are we thinking? Anything else on the top of our heads? Trying to think. So we did the finals. We talked about some baseball. Talked about some football.
I was gonna stick with baseball and talk about the home run derby with Pete Alonso going.
Oh yes. Talk about it. What are you thinking? What are our opinions, thoughts? What are we thinking?
I mean, as soon as I heard Pete Alonso was going to be in the All-Star game, it was kind of hard not to choose him to be the favorite to win it because he easily just did it last year. And you're also playing the home run derby at a very home run hitter friendly park. High altitude at Coors Field, 1 mile up. The air is thinner, so the ball travels farther, and you clearly saw that. Longest home run of the night was 520 feet, thanks to Juan Soto hitting it to right center.
Colorado, baby.
Where that center field forest is. But Pete Alonso was just shooing them out there into left center, left field. People were murdering each other for the baseballs because the players actually signed all their baseballs that they were using during the home run derby event.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so all the ones that were. So, like, all the balls that were thrown during Juan Soto's event, all of his baseballs, he signed them personally, and they were getting shot out into wherever the people were sitting. So, I saw Zach Campbell's video, so that's how I know that.
Imagine how much those are going to be worth.
Yeah, like, people were literally, like, punching vendors, like, for beer and stuff, and they were trashing the whole thing. Like, they completely destroyed, like, a Coors, like, vendor. Just to get a baseball that had like Trey Mancini signing on it.
Oh, that's one thing I definitely wanted to bring up really quickly. The fact that Trey Mancini was in the home run derby, like that was super, super cool to see. Obviously, last year I think it was colon cancer. He had like colon cancer or something like that, and
stage 3 colon cancer.
Yeah, so he missed the whole season. Obviously, it was a COVID season too, so it was so scary that if he was anything close to the game at that point, because obviously he's weaker. So it was awesome to see him back, having an all-star season as well. And the fact that he gave one of the most memorable first rounds in home run derby history, basically, because who was it? Him and his first opponent were really, really close. And it was just really cool to see. And then the second round as well, I think it was just a good overall home run derby. It was cool to see Ohtani. He lost first round, unfortunately, but
yeah, he really struggled right out of the bat. Like he only had like 2 home runs in like the first 2 minutes. Then he called like a timeout to get himself, and then he started hitting them though. But like he went for I believe, did he go first or second? I thought he went first. No,
first,
he went second.
Yeah. Wait, I thought Soto went first.
Yeah, but he was just struggling out the bat, and you knew he wasn't gonna last that long, especially with that first round performance.
Yeah.
So.
Actually, there is one thing I do want to talk about too. I want to ask you guys, who do you think like the top 5 players are in each major sports league? If you had to pick, in your personal opinion.
Oof.
We could start with whatever sport you guys want to.
Like
all positions.
You know what? We're talking baseball, so I guess let's start with baseball because we're already talking about it.
Who's your top 5 in the MLB?
Well, in no particular order. If we're gonna build
no order. Just
my options will
Five
just be
names
based
that
off
come to
of who I like the most. I mean, obviously Fernando Tatis, very exciting. Shohei Ohtani, definitely, because I want to be praising him in all these videos to not give him my top 5 vote.
Yeah.
Obviously, you
Oh,
gotta put
yeah, of
Trout
course.
in there because it's Mike Trout. You can't not put him in there. It's tough because I'm a Red Sox fan, so I love Devers and Bogarts, but it's very difficult. I don't think they're top 5. So I mean, I would just go with Ohtani, Tatis,
Vlad Jr.
Vlad Jr., Juan
Yeah,
Soto,
Vlad Jr.
and
Bryce
who else could
Harper.
you put in? I would not put Bryce Harper
No,
in there.
not Bryce Harper.
No.
Maybe marketing wise, because main marketing person, but
he's like the Conor McGregor
Oh yeah, he's done.
of MLB. Like he's not good though, but but people know his name.
yeah. Who would you guys pick?
For
Ohtani,
me,
Tatis, Vlad, Soto, and Aaron Judge. But I knew that pass wasn't gonna work.
yeah, we were expecting Aaron Judge from the biased Yankees fan in our
Exactly.
audio.
That's okay. We'll accept the
Trout
fourth place
too. Okay,
team.
Trout minus Soto. I'll add Trout.
For me, I would say Vlad Jr., Fernando Tatis, Shohei, Wander Franco. I think he's not obviously there right now though, but he will be next year, and Jacob deGrom.
Oh yeah.
He
Could
is
probably
easily
pick
the best pitcher
DeGrom
in
too.
MLB right now.
No Trout.
He's easily the best. Well, here's the thing though. Trout is now going to be on the decline,
You're
especially
right.
now that he's
Yeah.
not really winning anything. Had he gone to like another team, I mean, regardless, he's still putting up numbers though. But like he's on the older side now. He hasn't won a World Series. The only thing he really has his name is Silver Sluggers, Gold Gloves, and MVPs. Other than that, he doesn't really have anything.
He didn't really have much help though during his career.
Yeah, I still give it to Trout though, because even with not injury prone, but injury-ridden seasons, he's still putting up pretty dominant numbers. Like, he's just very naturally good.
Yeah, here's the question I did want to ask you guys because we haven't. It's right now clearly the top 2 for AL MVP is Shohei and Vladdy Jr. Who do you think's gonna win it? Because Vladdy Jr. right now is in first place for batting average, home runs, and RBIs, so he can get the triple crown. But Shohei is also doing unbelievably with home run hitting and batting for someone who's also doing pitching too. Who would you give the MVP to?
So I'm gonna base it off of. I'm gonna try to go baseline. That was my fault. I'm gonna base it off playoffs. So Toronto, I think, technically has a better record, and
but right now they're in
division's
fourth
tough,
place.
too.
But they're in fourth place of their division now.
Yeah, but
they
that's the
are.
toughest division.
But technically, right now, you could still make playoffs as a wild card team there. I think like with the Angels, like they just year in and year out, they're just always like they're there, but they're not very good. And I know Ohtani's making a big difference because he's providing a lot of their pitching wins. He's providing a lot of their offense. They haven't had Trout in a couple weeks. Oh, more than a couple weeks, probably 2 months now. So I understand, and he's shouldering a lot of the weight. So that's for sure. I think if you're going to give it to someone this year, it's definitely Ohtani. But I think if somehow the Blue Jays get themselves into a wild card situation, I think you kind of have to give it to Vlad because they were not, I don't think they were a playoff team last year. So I think it's more like his him breaking out is going to be the reason why if they make the playoffs most likely. Because if he gives them 45 and 120, which he's on pace to do, because I think he's in the 30s right now and 70, 80 RBIs. So if he gives them 45, 120 and they make the playoffs, I think you have to give it to him. But I feel like Ohtani, since he's been the big talk of everything, he's probably going to win it. That'd be my guess.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he's doing both, and it's just more The more the talk.
I would say give it to Ohtani unless Vladdy officially hits gets the triple crown, like he finishes first in average batting average, home run, and RBIs. If Vladdy does officially get
That's
the triple
amazing to
crown,
do that, by the way, get the triple crown.
well, especially in your second year of
That's
playing
so
in the
impressive.
MLB,
Yeah.
in the
He
full
was built
season,
for it, too.
like obviously Vladdy played last year though, but that was only 60 games. I don't count that as a full season. I don't count the Dodgers officially winning the World Series too. Technically they did though, but they won it in a fluke season because they played 80 games. They played 60 regular seasons plus 20 playoff games.
Right.
Usually how the Dodgers operate is that by the halfway point they're clearly the best team, but as soon as after the halfway point they lose gas, which you saw in 2019, 2018, 2017 when they always make it to the playoffs and World Series.
Yeah.
That was a fluke year for them where they actually won it, and they played against a team that wasn't really that good on paper.
Yeah. So, just transition now. Do you want to do top 5 in basketball?
Yeah, we could jump to basketball.
Do it up.
This one's a little more. This one's a little more difficult, though.
Yeah, so I'll start with mine.
We're in the middle of the
think,
finals right now, so.
Well, it's gonna be a lot of personal preference, honestly.
Yeah. Giannis, LeBron, and this is no order. Giannis, LeBron, KD. Giannis, LeBron, KD. Gotta go with Kawhi too. I think you can't leave him out of the top 5. Just his dominance, and then probably Luka, to be honest. I mean, I don't want to leave Curry off, but see, that's the really tough part.
I think I'd roll with Curry, Luka, LeBron, Durant, and I like Kawhi. I don't think he's top 5 anymore. I think he was more top 5 like Toronto, like his last Toronto season.
Right, honestly.
I think with the injuries and stuff, he's kind of fallen out of the top 5 a little bit. Like he's still top 10, top 12, maybe
no,
latest.
You're right. The injuries probably canceled him.
This game doesn't want me to do good.
He's very dominant.
Yeah, I would say Curry, LeBron, Durant.
I mean, he's had a huge impact in the NBA. He's literally taken down 3 team dynasties, which no player can say that they've ever done.
It's more. It's for my 5th player. Raptors. For my 5th player, it's more. Do I want to go with Giannis or do I want to go with like someone like Lillard? Because I don't know. Like I think Lillard is very underappreciated. And one of the most talented point guards / just guards in the league.
Lillard is definitely 7, like at least top 7. Because if he's not top 5, then Kawhi would probably be 6 if you replace him with Curry.
Then I would just put Giannis in there as my 5th guy.
Yeah, I don't think you can leave Giannis off just because he really benefits from
he does both. And he's in the finals right now, proving it all wrong.
And having the most God-given, best body for basketball ever. Super athletic. Long as hell.
Yeah, originally when I first, especially last year, to me, I thought he was the Lamar Jackson of basketball. Always would make a lot of noise, would win MVP every year. Almost every year, and just be making a lot of noise.
Yeah, he's giving you
he's back to back.
He's giving you
the defensive player of the year too.
He's giving you the 2-way play of running and passing like Lamar Jackson, where he's giving you the 2-way scoring and defense like in the NBA. So I agree with your point there, but I think what was it the other time?
But now Giannis can actually win a championship, unlike choker Jackson.
Yeah. We'll wait to do hockey because we're gonna do a separate video for hockey off season and stuff like that.
I can't even comment on hockey anyway.
Yeah.
So.
We'll do hockey in a separate video. But what would be your top 5 football players be?
See, what I was thinking for football though, maybe we should go top 3 offense, top 3 defense, unless you want to do top 5.
Yeah, let's do that.
Because
top 3 defense, top 3 offense.
Yeah, because there's 22 positions, and it's very hard to limit 5 all time.
Yeah, let's do it. Top 3.
We're clearly going to be heavy offensively with quarterbacks and
So
Yeah.
tell me your top three. Both of you tell me your top three offense players.
CMC,
Mm-hmm.
Brady. Oh, who do I go with for number 3? It's like I want to go with the receiver because I don't want to throw 2 QBs in there. And if I am to pick a receiver, I'm going to go with Devontae Adams or DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, I think I'd go. Obviously, as much as I love Brady, I think like if we're
Yeah,
talking
I
about
don't think I
NFL
should throw
now,
him though.
if we're talking
Yeah,
NFL now,
Mahomes.
I'm probably
Mahomes
taking
got to go up there.
Mahomes for my quarterback. How about this? We'll do like position.
Yeah,
So
I'm with
like
you on that, honestly.
I'll take Mahomes at quarterback. I'll take Dalvin Cook at running back. I'll take
You know what? I agree with that completely too. I have no problem with that.
I'll take Devontae at wide receiver or Justin Jefferson, one of those two. And then tight end, I'd probably take. I mean, it depends. If you want like both sides of the football, like obviously you take Kittle because Kittle's a good receiver and good blocker. But if you're going, just tight end position, obviously you got to take Kelsey because Kelsey's the undisputed best tight end in football. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. But he's basically a receiver.
he's basically a receiver, but he does play tight end technically. So
Yeah.
we'll just toss him at the tight end position. What do you think, Kyle? What's your top three?
I'd probably say
Damn, I'm glitching bad.
top 3 on offense. I'd say it's Brady,
What's going on?
Saquon, and DeAndre Hopkins. Because here's the thing, now that I learned that Brady played with a very bad leg injury last year, and he basically just did that wearing a knee brace the whole year,
It does make it more. Yeah, it does make it more impressive.
that really made me shoot. Because I was gonna say Patrick Mahomes, but now that I learned that he had that MCL injury basically the whole year, no surgery, just wore the knee brace and just stuck it out the entire 7 months of the season. That really that's a lot of respect to the GOAT right there.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty respectable. It's such a big preference thing though. Like, same thing
It
if you
really
look
is.
if you look at the NBA, are you going to look for guys who are flashy or are you going to look for
It's
guys
all
who
preference.
win? Technically, obviously, in football, you want to take Brady's your top 3 because talent-wise and winning-wise. But it's like, obviously, in his career at this point, you're probably going to pick Mahomes or maybe even Lamar Jackson, guys like that over him because they're a little bit younger. And just statistically, they have the ability to do more right now. Same thing with basketball, honestly.
Oh yeah.
You could be like, talent-wise, I take Zion in my top 5. But it's like, he's not top 5.
Yeah. So, based on that though, so who do you guys want to say then? Or Kyle, did you say your running backs actually?
I said Saquon.
Oh, Saquon. Okay. So who do you guys think for defense then? I guess we can go linebackers, defensive end, cornerback, safety, whatever, however you want to do it.
Yeah, I would say just defensive line. Obviously, I'm taking Aaron Donald. That's a very easy answer.
Yeah. Yeah,
Linebacker.
true. Miles Garrett too.
Yeah, linebacker.
For me, I'd
Linebacker
say
is
Khalil
interesting.
Mack.
I feel like linebacker is very, very interesting because there's a lot of hybrids who play like defensive end and linebacker. Probably say Devin White from Tampa Bay. It's probably my favorite to watch.
For me, I'd probably say Fred Warner or Bobby Wagner.
Yeah,
I was gonna say Bobby
Wagner
too.
it definitely has
He's
the
kind of getting old
longevity.
though.
Yeah, he's got the longevity.
He does.
I mean, he still played pretty good last year, considering his
That defense was terrible too.
Yeah, he was mostly doing everything. But I mean, he
Yeah.
still went
yeah.
out there and he was still putting up still incredible numbers for being a one-man show.
Yeah, Eric Kendricks is good too, Minnesota.
We'll see. Top cornerbacks. Because this is tough. I think, top cornerback wise, I'm taking Gilmore one-on-one because Gilmore usually follows, the best receiver. But if I'm taking best cornerback in general, who kind of is a good
Jair
Falcon,
Alexander.
I was going to say either Alexander or Jalen Ramsey. just because
Yeah, true.
they add the physical side. Like Stephan Gilmore is a very good cover guy, but he's not that physical and he doesn't really hit that hard, and he's not like in the
He's
trenches
probably
guy.
top 5 though.
Jalen Ramsey has
for his
like the
position.
IQ to be like a linebacker because he's like strong, but he's a good cover guy as well.
He's also very aggressive too.
Exactly,
Yeah, he is.
like that's cool to have.
But
Like
his
on a
ability to
team.
read plays too is amazing.
Yeah.
I'd probably say it's like a notable mention is Tre'Davious White.
Yeah, he's pretty nasty. Well, that's Buffalo,
Yeah, he
right?
is.
Yeah, Buffalo.
Yeah, he's on Buffalo.
Yeah.
And then what's the last one? Safeties. Oh, safeties is tough because there's so many good safeties, and it's a lot of like.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say no names, but it's a lot of names that if you're not, you have to be a little bit more of a casual fan. Yeah, you gotta like if you're going talent, I'm picking Derwin James because Derwin James when he's been healthy has been the top guy, but he's just never healthy. But if I were to pick a one just in general who provides the health and statistics, I'm probably rolling with
Justin Simmons.
yeah, Justin Simmons is pretty good. I was gonna say Minka Fitzpatrick because he was good.
I was gonna say
He was good with the Dolphins, and then he upped his game when he went to the Steelers. So
Yeah, that is true.
I think I would go Minka.
I'd probably say I'd jump back and forth between Fitzpatrick and the Honey Badger Matthew.
Yeah, like those are the aggressive guys. And then if you wanted to pick people to win, obviously you're gonna look towards guys like Devin McCourty or Tyrann Mathieu, who've been on teams that won Super Bowls. So
Jamal Adams.
That's interesting.
No, he hasn't been on a Super Bowl, but not that I know of at least actually.
But yeah, I think we've had a good amount of topics in these couple videos, so hopefully you guys like that. I think we're gonna hit on a hockey, this little Seattle Kraken stuff tune.
The Kraken.
Or actually, by the time this video gets posted, the Seattle video might already be out, depending what the date is.
Yes, very true stuff.
So yeah, I think we're gonna do the hockey talk. I think we're gonna get some other people on that want to be on top of the podcast, and they're gonna pick their topics and kind of go with the flow and post those as well soon. And I think that's really it, honestly.
Yeah.
If any of you guys want to add something or say your goodbyes, whatever you want to do.
I'm gonna say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. Let your mommies tuck you in at night and read you a nice little bedtime story.
I agree with you. Listen to everything Josh says, and you'll have a great life.
Yes.
Goodbye, everyone.
Listen to your mommies.